episode 19 of Girlfriends Knitting. I'm Carolyn, also known as Caw Shirley on Clerk and Ravelry, and this is my mom.
Hi, I'm Candy, known as Spun Cotton on Ravelry.
And so we are in Texas visiting with the family this week. It has been my birthday week, because in the Warren family we have birthday weeks, not just birthdays. And so I have been having a blast out here. And so I convinced her that she had to be on the podcast with me today. She's so excited, can't you tell?
Fun times. And look, I really am working.
So we don't have any FOs this week. So I guess we'll get started on our works in progress. What I've got right now that I'm knitting on is a sock that I'm designing that I'm calling my garden basket socks. And I'm just something I'm playing with, really, out of just some, I think it's pretty and very, reminds me of wisteria with the purples and the greens.
Good color combination.
It's just a workhorse yarn. I think it's a Patton's or something. So that's the first thing that I'm playing with. The other sock that I'm also working on, we are test knitting the pattern for the Racing Hearts design. And Mom got a sneak peek of that this week. What do you think of it?
It's great. It's really cool.
Pam designed the foot. She's PK Jewelry, pretty, designed the foot, and I worked on the cuff, and then Pam put it all together. And I think the way she put the cuff and the foot together is really clever. And so I'm super excited to get that released. Hopefully we'll get that released next week. Both of us are finishing up the test knits right now. It is going to be a toe-up and a top-down pattern, so you can choose either way that you want to do it. And while I'm on the subject of that, Desert Vista Dye Works has released the colorway, and it is awesome because you get 3 different colors, basically. You either get a red or a gray, solid. Then you get a red, black, and gray stripe, self-striping. And then you get a red, black, and gray variegated. So you can do different parts of the sock in the different colors. And I'm so excited to do a test knit with that. That's going to be really cool. The pre-orders for the colorway are already up on the Desert Vista Dye Works website. And I have links to that on Ravelry already. And of course I'll put a link to that in the show notes on the blog. So go over there and check it out. I think it's so awesome. Have you had a chance to look at it yet?
Not on the
blog.
Website, yeah.
The other thing that I am working on, and I'm going to show it off, even though it's a secret swap. Nobody knows who my partner is. I am knitting my Afghan square.
Pretty. Nice design.
And it's one of the designs I got out of that library book that I checked out. And I'm using my Angry Bird stitch markers.
So cute.
And I'm working on a size 5, my knit picks, interchangeables. I love these Harmony Wood knit picks. They're so smooth. They're like metal without the weight of metal because of the smoothness. The smoothness is what reminds me of the metal. But they're light like wood.
Well, what do I know? This is the first circular needles I've ever used.
Yeah, and I had to give her a pair of my Addy Turbos for her to work on the color affection. She went and got all of the yarn, because I told her what yarn to buy. And then I got out here and said, let's work on our color affection shawl. And she's, I didn't buy needles. So we had to hunt up a pair of needles for her. Because the yarn shop didn't have needles. Had you ever heard of such a thing?
No, they had a few wooden ones.
They had straight, yeah.
Yeah.
But they didn't have circular needles. I was in shock.
But they are called.
They are just
the Woolie. Yeah, the Woolie Ewe.
They did have lots of wool.
They're about wool.
Yes, they did have lots of wool. That's all I'm working on, other than the color affection. So show them your color affection.
So this is my color affection, and this is the first color, which is called terracotta, and it's a Malabrigo. And then I'm going to go with this Malabrigo, which is called, what's the name on this? I don't know.
Lettuce.
Lettuce. Yeah.
I love that name.
lettuce.
It does look like lettuce.
And the third color is this, which is called Low Tide, and it's called it's from Fiberfile,
Fiberfile, I would bet.
Fiberfile, and it's called Low Tide, and it's got
A little bit of
some
variegated.
olive in it and a little bit of brown, and anyway, it's I think it'll be a nice color with.
I love it. So that's going to be your border
two.
color.
That's going to be the border color at the bottom.
I love it. She wanted the orange up by her face.
Yes.
And one difference between our two shawls, let me get mine out. Y'all seen mine. You can't really tell that I've had much progress, but I'm about this far from getting all the way across with the 3 colors at the end. So I'm about that far from finishing up the 3rd section and then being able to put on the border.
Yeah. And I'm about that.
Well, in all fairness, you did just start this week. Those are my 3 colors. You can see them in the stripes. And so we have the Sundown Orchid, which is the one I started with. It's the pink. Then the purple is Amethyst Ink. And then the green is Happy Forest.
Happy Forest. I
Happy
like it.
Forest. And so that green will be the border color. But the main difference is because of the Addy turbos that I gave Mom instead of Addy lace, it was hard to do the make one right and make one left. So we decided on hers to just do a regular make one. And I did exactly as the pattern calls for. And just like several people have mentioned, it is super tight. And you can tell, stretch your border.
I just dropped 2 stitches here.
Oh, well, as she fixes her stitches, hold on. Does it make you nervous trying to fix stitches on camera?
Well, if I had my glasses on, it would work better.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So then,
Yeah, slide those and stretch the border out. You see, it's much, mine's tight, and hers is much stretchier.
it's a little bit lacier, it looks too.
Yeah, because the make one adds that little bit of a hole. So I now kind of wish that I had done the make one instead of the make one left and make one right. But it's still really pretty. It'll just be a tighter edge.
It'll kind of give it the shape of your shoulders too.
Right. I'm so excited about these. And the Color Affection Knit Along is going to go through September 18th. And I think there's at least one more group. I know Knitting Wolf was talking about there's at least one more group that's doing a Color Affection Knit Along. So for ours, you're welcome to double dip. So if the other group is allowing you to double dip, you can post your finished object in our thread and in theirs. So that's up to them whether you can post it in both, because it's perfectly fine with me. And so there is a finished object thread, and if you finish the shawl over the summer and post it in the object thread by September 18th, we'll have some prize drawings for some various things. At least one skein of yarn, at least one set of stitch markers, at least one pattern. And who knows what else. I might convince 1 or 2 of our awesome bag makers that we have in the group to
Make a bag.
make a bag. That would be cool. So those are going to be some of the prizes for the Color Affection Knit Along. And it's fun.
I'm enjoying it.
And Mom is fairly new to knitting. When did I get you started on this?
Probably last August, September, something like that. And I've made 2 shawls, and that's about it.
I grew up with Mom crocheting all the time. And so her and her mother are the ones who taught me how to crochet. And so I don't even remember not knowing how to crochet. I mean, y'all taught me when I was real little. But knitting's something I've done for, about 10, 12 years now. Verge taught me.
Yeah.
And so it's been a while. It's something I've just really gotten a passion for lately. The last 2 years, I would guess. That I've just really had that's all I do. Everybody's shocked when they don't see me with knitting anymore. So I had to get Mom into knitting like she got me into crocheting. And now, it may not be Mom that I'm getting into this, but my dad and brother asked me to bring my spinning wheel. And they have been fascinated with the spinning wheel. And this is something I have done just since I've been here. It's a 2-ply. Hold that, please, ma'am. It's Anzula fiber It's probably a DK weight in an ocean. It's 100% Corriedale in the ocean colorway. And so it's purples and blues and grays. And I think it is absolutely gorgeous. I'm very happy with it. And some of it my dad spun, and some of it my nephew spun, and some of it
enjoyed playing with that.
my brother spun.
I didn't get to see that part.
Yes, he did. And he actually beat all of y'all in terms of the spinning.
Well, he's more coordinated than the rest of us.
And Mom worked on the treadling.
Yes.
But
I decided we need to connect this spinning wheel thing to a treadmill so I can walk and spin at the same time.
there you go. Hey, that is... And of course, Dad...
Oh, I'm giving away all my secrets.
Dad has been trying to figure out a way to connect the spinning wheel to a motor. That's what he's been trying to do all week. He's convinced that this is possible.
Speed up this process.
Yeah, there's no need to do that treadling nonsense. So, in all of my birthday madness, we have done a bunch of shopping at knit stores. We went to the Woolie Ewe, and we bought fiber, 100% Targhee top in Meadow. So it's greens and blues and purples, all my
Beautiful.
favorite colors.
Beautiful.
And so then I had Mom playing this morning with one of my other birthday presents, which is a spindle. And it's a handmade spindle. Sorry, I keep looking over here for everything. You want to try it?
Kundert.
Spindles.
Kundert spindles.
Steve
There you go.
in Monroe,
Yes.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And it's a handmade spindle that was at, hold on, I wrote it down, White Rock Weaving and Craft Center. When we walked into White Rock, it was like I had died and gone to wool heaven. Had you ever seen that much wool in
Wools everywhere, and the spinning wheels and looms, and there was basket weaving also. It was amazing, all the stuff she had.
floor? There was one room that the floor was literally covered in every different type of spinning wheel I've heard of. And I haven't heard of many, mind you, but there were
But you couldn't
Ashfords
walk
and
through the room. Yeah,
shocks of different styles. And then from knee height to the ceiling, the entire four walls were covered in shelves full of huge pound to 2 pound balls of roving of every different shade and color and combination of colors that you can imagine. It was unreal. And I did manage to get out of there without buying any roving because we were there to buy spinning wheel parts. And so that's what Dad got me for my birthday, was all different parts to my spinning wheel. I got some more drive bands and oil and bobbins, which is I really needed. And a spindle. I got off track.
Made of walnut and purple heart.
And that's why he liked it, because of the purple heart. Dad does a lot of wood crafting himself. And so when he saw the purple heart, he said, "This is the one you're getting." I said, "Cool." And so this is the spinning Mom has done this morning out by their new lake while we watch the random llama.
There you go.
Tell them about the llama,
Llama.
because I've been putting this on Plurk,
Yeah.
and they have been laughing at me about this llama.
We just purchased this property, and the previous owner was showing us around, and he said, "Oh, and this is the random llama. He just kind of showed up a few years ago, and so we just let him hang out." And so we call him the community llama. He hangs out on 3 different sections of property here, and but lately he's been sleeping behind our shop. So we named him Yama.
Yama the llama.
Yama the llama, and he's pretty calm, and
He's fairly friendly for
He
a
is
wild
friendly.
llama.
yeah.
I mean, he'll come within 10 or 15 feet of you and just hang.
He eats the leaves on the trees, keeps the trees kind of trimmed up a little bit, and he's eating the grass, and he's having a good time.
Yeah. We may see if we can't go snag a few pictures. The way we're filming, you might have even seen him walk by back behind us. That's one of his favorite hangouts. So, those are some of the things that I got on my wild birthday weekend. But the main knitting things that I got. However, let me go back. Where did you? Oh, get that.
Get that.
The spinning. This, yes. Because one of my presents from Amy was the book Itty Bitty Toys by Susan B. Anderson. And it is awesome. First of all, I love Susan B. Anderson. Doing a knit along with her was one of the first ways that I heard of Ravelry about a year ago. And of course, it's typical high quality book that you would expect from her. And I really just wanted to show y'all a few of the really cute things that I think are adorable in this book.
Here's a bunny.
The bunny! That is such a good bunny rabbit. I mean, it's just like the perfect little put in their crib bunny rabbit. And she embroiders all of the faces and stuff, so you don't have to worry about a baby.
Yeah, and she talks about choking hazards and stuff in the introduction.
And then the reason I asked Mom to get this ocean, because will that not go great together?
The hippo is going to look very cute
in that ocean.
The grayish, purplish colors.
So that's going to be something I knit and stick in my office, probably on a shelf. And then my mom...
I'm in love with these, what's it called? Wrap them up puppies. They're little puppies with a little blanket. So you can wrap up the puppies.
And then I'm getting some of our bookmarks. Oh, Christmas stuff. Miss Gwen, go away. You can't look at that because you might get one of those for Christmas. I really like the bag, the Santa's bag.
Yeah, that's cute.
And then these are adorable. That little hat will probably become my niece's. Number one, she's 18 months old and still doesn't have very much hair. She needs hair.
She needs hair. It's growing, but slowly.
So I think she needs that hat.
So she'll
I can
have
give her some
pigtails.
hair.
Yeah, she'll have pigtails.
And then last but not least, I'm probably going to knit this for Mom, but that's not a surprise. I've already told her.
Cutest thing.
Because I'm going to try and cover up that so I'm not showing the pattern. It's a bird. Hold on.
What's wrong with showing you pattern?
Well, copyright.
Oh.
So it's an egg that folds into a little blue bird and then a nest. Is that not the cutest thing?
It is adorable.
So, oh, that's one of the reversibles. She's got a bunch of reversibles in here. Like the lion that becomes an elephant or a turtle that becomes a frog. We said it should have been a turtle and a hare.
Right, for the story.
For the story. Or the wolf that... Tell them about the wolf. And we were talking about this when we were looking at the book earlier.
There was, years ago, they made dolls that were... It was a Little Red Riding Hood with her big red cape. And then when you turned it inside out, it was the wolf. So you could tell the story of Little Red Riding Hood and the wolf.
And I said, when you flipped it upside down, does that mean the wolf had a dress?
It did kind of look that way. But you have to use your imagination.
Hey, we were better about that, I think, when I was little than some of the kids today. So the only thing that we have left to talk about, because we've talked about the spinning, we've talked about our book, and my birthday presents, is the Couch to 5K. Of course, that's the sock that we're working on. Hopefully the pattern will get released sometime next week. And the colorway has already been released and pre-orders are up on Desert Vista Dye Works site. But I'm supposed to be training. You're supposed to be training.
Sure, yeah, right. When am I going to train?
So, I did a whole lot more eating cake and not so much training this week. But then tell them about yesterday.
We took a 7-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 17-month-old to the zoo.
To the Dallas Zoo.
And with the zoo one.
It did.
We decided it was the zoo 5 and Warren's 0. It was so hot. And pushing the stroller uphill was quite a workout. So I've already got my workout in for the week. But it was fun.
I estimated we did 6 miles. Do you think?
Probably. Yeah, because we walked all the way over to the monorail to ride the train, and there was no train. They had closed it for the day. So then we had to walk way back over to the entrance so we could leave.
And that was funny, that conversation of those people going, how dare they close the train? What about the rest of us? Someone had gotten sick, and that's why they closed the train. And they were all upset at this person, like they got sick on purpose.
Purpose, yeah. But you know, when a 6 and a 7-year-old are ready to leave the zoo, it's hot.
It's time to go. And we learned that my niece is fascinated with mole rats and bugs.
Naked mole rats.
Naked mole rats.
And bugs.
And bugs. The monkeys.
You gotta put the K in it.
The bugs.
Bugs, yeah.
The monkeys, the birds, not so much.
Well, she sees a bird and she's tweet, 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 tweet.
She's watched those signing time videos a lot, and so she does a lot more signing than she does speaking.
Yeah.
She can talk, she just doesn't choose to
Chooses not to.
most of the time.
Wise woman.
So yeah, I think we got 6 miles in. So if I got 6 miles in one day, does that count as getting 3 miles in 2 days in a row?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't think you can average it out.
You can't average it out for the week.
But, you know, it's birthday time, so...
That's right.
We'll catch
back
up.
on track.
We'll get back on track next week.
And you're on the street team on the Runkeeper.
I am.
But have you been...
But I haven't been walking.
You're one of the ones who told me about the Runkeeper.
I know. Your dad set it up for himself and then gave it to me. But then, with taking care of the little ones and then trying to do some work around the ranch, I haven't done much of that type of exercise. I think, you know,
Chasing a 17-month-old is a
pretty
lot
good
of exercise.
Yeah.
Good mom's nanny on a regular basis. So that is a lot of exercise. So I hope y'all have had a better training week. I know several people were posting that they were moving on to week 2 of the Couch to 5K,
Yeah,
which I think is awesome.
There are a lot of good things about what some people are doing. I encourage you. Keep going.
That's right. And I'll get back out there. Well, I guess that's it.
That's it.
Thank you for joining me.
You're welcome. I enjoyed it.
And maybe we'll go see if we can't find a random llama.
Yeah. Right after I find a random piece of birthday cake.